Hello and welcome back to Beyond the Veil background information. Today we're doing another culture video and we're going to be discussing the Fae world or the realm of the fairies. Now, as usual, I will start with a quote from one of the stories that mentions it, then I will just discuss it because it's the cultural one, so there's no real background information in the sense of like where I find the information. It's more just how I interpreted it into the culture of the Veil. So it's purely my interpretation for my universe. It's no one else's universe's information. So I can deal with the mutt and open the gate, but you know the rules of the Fae Realm. You can't break your way out of it, or the mound door won't open. Where is there a mound to get out around here? Rab questioned, and for a moment the Count rolled his eyes in a slow, almost comically thoughtful way as he pondered over where there was one, and what Rab could use. Quote from the Changeling Heart. So I'm going to cover this quite briefly because this is just something that's quite a large subject because of what it encompasses, but it is interesting all the same. We're going to discuss very briefly what the Fae Realm is, where the Fae Realm is, who lives there, the difference between unseelie and seelie, and how to get in and out of the Fae Realm. Throughout all of this talk, I will be using the term Fae for the majority and unseelie and seelie as well as the she throughout this bit, so I hope you can keep up with it. Now, unseelie and seelie are the Scottish terms. As far as I know, I'm saying them right. And she, spelled Sidhe, is the Irish name for them, which I seem to have terrible trouble with, with some of those things. And at the moment, I do have an infected tooth, so I'm going to stick with words that are easier for me to say, and I do apologise if I have a whistling sound or I sound a bit drooly or hissy in this video. So what is the Fae world or the Fae realm? Well, this is an area within the Veil that has not really got a physical position within the human realm, but sits predominantly underground in a seeming capsule outside of time and space that sits between Purgatory and the Veil itself. It is a region that is home to members of the Fairy or Fae or She race, a collection of beings that can influence the Veil and beyond it because they hold magic and are believed that, like the Peri, were formed by the Watchers. The belief in the Veil, though, is that they were not children but those humans caught up in the flood with angelic blood that were somehow able to grab a feather from one of the Watchers as their wings were destroyed and not only absorbed earthly powers, but were banished from Earth and left in a realm that was akin to Purgatory. We of course know them as the collection of unusual beings like fairies, goblins, gnomes, and the like that feature more in folk traditions still hold to today, including infamous members of the grouping like the Banshee and the Dullahan. The realm itself is split between different territories all around the Veil it's attached to. Although certain islands in the northern and southern hemisphere, most particularly the British Isles, have less of a separation between themselves and the Fae realm due to strong belief for them present here. Each territory belongs to a quarter of the She and is practically a kingdom, with various Fae king and queen battling it out for more territory. As they are trapped in a world outside of time, the Fae realm is either stuck in a perpetual grey autumn or a green spring. They cannot build lands or live as a community outside their realm because their powers are limited by stone and minerals like iron. This means that the few places where they can spend time above, which is an area always dominated by humans, is a valuable place to fight for, so there is always war. The Fae also require items like milk, bread, and cheese and livestock, which only exist made partially of plant material within their world or with powers that require the same thing. Hence they need access to the Veil or beyond it for energy. The Fae species are varied, with different beings performing different roles, but the Fae King and Queen are always human-like, beautiful with clear wings and features that harken back to their angelic heritage. The She are then split between two types, the Seelie, that are the light beings, and the Unseelie, that are the dark beings, or have good or bad intentions. Within the Veil, the separation is regarding the magic they use and what they need. For example, an injured Fae may require something like an egg to heal themselves. A Seelie will ask for an egg, use it, and in return the egg will turn into something that can be gifted back, sometimes even a dozen eggs, as their magic is derived from life and the act of giving. An Unseelie, however, will take an egg and use it, but the egg will only aid the Unseelie and will turn to ash afterwards. They gain power from death and by taking things. This is how their magic is split, and it has created various beings, including the rather malign changelings, from encounters with the human world. However, both species create fairy dust, a rare commodity in the Vale that can warp space and time to create hidden rooms or make spells to help someone guard themselves, or just exchange it for whatever they need at the time, like money. Then lastly, each Fae Realm is covered in a maze of plants that mean anyone that goes into them and does not know the trick or does not have the guide given by the Fae Queen cannot leave again. It has meant that the Fae Realm has stayed unmolested by demons and vampires, but any of their kind caught out and about are easily kidnapped for this information. A king and queen can open and close the door into their realm from any place as long as it is upon soil. Their minions are given guides or keys to allow them to do so. The Doulahan alone can open any door to any realm as long as it can visualize it, but for anything else, the only way to get in is to step into a fairy ring, a naturally occurring ring of mushrooms. And to get out, it's either through the same ring or climbing up tree roots until you find an opening, but there's no guarantee where you may come out. And the manner of Fae Realm is that you will be trapped if you don't have permission to leave. This is briefly all that needs to be known about the Fae Realm, and next month we'll discuss the even briefer Dream Realm, where some rather unsettling beings live. So I hope you found that interesting. Thank you.